There's fun in learning around the bend. You could even do it with your best friend. If there's science stuff that you like to know, come watch Allie and CoCo Science Show.
Hello guys, and welcome to Allie and CoCo Science Show. You may notice I'm like short of breath. I might cough and sneeze throughout this video. I love plants and angiosperms are so cool, but I don't love pollen season. I tried to film this video outside. I've been trying to get a lot of fresh air. My great grandma, who lived to be like 94,000 years old, said that's how you heal yourself. And I've been like bedridden, but by bedridden I mean I've slept in. Do you have the allergies too? Oh no. I fell asleep in a hammock like all day yesterday. In the theme of things that I love, I want to talk about a very underrated member of our society. Some call them vermin. They call things they don't want in their yard vermin or weeds and things like that, but they may be important members of the ecosystem that we've built upon. Today I'm talking about my favorite vermin in the world, Didelphis virginiana, or the opossum! We have a little resident possum that comes into our yard all the time and drives Colette crazy. I know. Yes, we are talking about opossums. I may slip up and say possum because I'm from the South. We call them all possums, but just know there's an opossum in North America and a possum in Australia. They're both in completely different orders or classification groups. They're distantly related, completely different animals, so opossum versus possum. Opossums are found from Costa Rica all the way up to Ontario. However, their historic range is a little smaller than that. They used to only go up to like southern Ohio, Missouri kind of area, Maryland. That's as far north as they used to go. However, due to things like habitat fragmentation and land clearing and global warming and climate change, they've kind of moved up into Canada as well as all over the United States. Another vermin friend of mine, the armadillo, has done something similar. We'll save that guy for another video. I love armadillos. So they've got a big range, which means they also have a big variation in size. And this just depends on their sex and also their location. So there's this cool concept called Bergmann's rule, which basically means that if you're an animal living up north, you tend to be larger than your southern counterpart. So think of like deer up north are way bigger than the same species of deer further south. Opossums are no exception. A male can be between 1.7 and 14 pounds, and a female can be 11 ounces to 8.2 pounds, which means a larger male up in Canada may weigh 20 times more than a smaller female in Costa Rica. They're considered one of the world's most variable sized mammals. If that doesn't convince you that they're the coolest animals, hold up. Opossums are mammals. More specifically, they are in the infraclass of marsupials. That's right. Opossums are marsupials. Marsupials are found in the Australasia region, so Australia and the Asian area, as well as the Americas. And the marsupial group includes some of our favorites like kangaroos, wombats, koalas, and the Tasmanian devil. So where do marsupials come from? They're in these two very distant regions, and what makes them so special? DNA evidence shows that marsupials diverged, that means broke apart from, placental mammals about 100 to 120 million years ago during the Jurassic period. So that's when marsupials first kind of came about, was when dinosaurs roamed the earth. DNA analysis also supports that marsupials all came from the South American region. And how did they get to Australia? They didn't swim there, even though possums have been known to be great swimmers. They didn't swim to Australia. This was when all the continents were connected into a supercontinent called Gondwana. So basically, during the Jurassic period, our marsupials in South America diverged from placental mammals, spread out, and then the continents drifted apart, creating all this cool variability, but they still all had the same characteristics of being marsupials. An interesting reproductive structure that I could go into detail, but it's very in-depth. Just know that it's wild. and that they have a pouch is probably the biggest thing. So let's talk about those marsupial characteristics in relation to the opossum. So when an opossum is born, it is about the size of a honeybee or a gummy bear. Teeny tiny. The mom may have up to like 20 young, which is an insane number. You'd never see 20 baby possums swallowing their mom because it's very hard for them to survive. They have little gummy bear babies that live in their pouch. Oh my god, if they had gummy bears in the shape of possums. Once they're large enough, they can crawl outside the pouch, and sometimes you'll even see the mom with like, I don't know, 8 babies on their backs just kind of crawling up trees. They do have the pouch just like all the other marsupials, like a kangaroo. They have a pouch that hold their babies. Why do I love opossums so much? Why am I literally obsessed with these guys? First off, how can you not be? They're super cool animals. They have the most teeth of any land mammal. They have 50 teeth. They're also just freaking adorable, cool animals. Like, look at that guy. Look at that opossum doing their thing. They're so cute. They're so cute. Also, they have opposable fake thumbs. Look at that weird thumb. That's not a real thumb like us. They're fake thumbs, but they can work just like thumbs. It's called Convergent Evolution. We both have developed thumbs in completely different evolutionary ways, but they have the same function. So that's cool. They also have a prehensile tail, which means they can kind of wrap their tail around things and hang from them and grab them. Don't go grabbing possums, but I held a possum in a controlled setting once, and it wrapped its tail around me and it freaked me out a little bit, but it was still super duper cool. Contrary to popular belief, they don't have rabies. Possums aren't rabid animals. In fact, their body temperature is much hotter than ours, and rabies can't survive in their bodies. They also have partial immunity to some snake venom, so they're very, very helpful to have around because they could potentially eat some venomous snakes in your area. They're also North America's only marsupial, so we kind of gotta love these guys because they're just so special. Also, they play dead. They're so weird. One time a possum crawled onto my parents' porch and we had to put the dogs inside, and the possum like was playing dead. We couldn't scoop it into a trap and take it to a local park and let it free because it was playing dead so hard it wouldn't go in the trap. So cool. Not tricky to dogs at all, I don't think. Probably the biggest thing for just anybody. So I may think possums are super cool, but maybe you still think they're freaky. So why should you care about the possum? Possums are opportunistic feeders, which means they are very good at adapting and eating whatever they have on hand. I like to think of them as like the teenagers of the animal world. They will eat everything, like I mean everything. That's why we see them in our garbage. They can stomach a lot. But also important is that they eat a lot of things that we don't want around us. They eat a lot of ticks, fleas, roaches, snails. They also eat carrion, which is like roadkill for us. So anything that's gross that we don't want in our neighborhoods or in our yards, the possums can take care of it. They eat a lot of ticks, which is really important for me since I have a dog who likes to stay in the yard and not come back inside. So they'll eat a lot of these pests, which is really one way you can kind of help the possum out is letting them eat things that are natural. So making sure your trash can lids are closed, your cat food that you leave outside is put away. Make sure that their source of food is coming from things that are more natural, and make sure you're not spraying a bunch of harmful pesticides and things, roach killer, things that are going to make roaches a toxic snack for the opossum. There's a concept called biomagnification. If a possum eats 10 roaches that have been infected with a roach killer, the possum is going to get sick and die. So not only are they eating up all these more invertebrate vermin like roaches and ticks and dead animals, they're also they potentially could eat rats. So a lot of things that you don't want around your house, around your yard, are what is on the menu for the opossum. I love possums. I think they're adorable. If you think this creature is still disgusting, please just keep in mind that they are very healthy in our ecosystem. They were in this ecosystem before we were. And so we gotta just, you know, give props to the opossum and give them the space and the resources they need to flourish. For the action of the day, I want you guys to share information about how important the opossum is to our ecosystem. Now please don't go pet any wild possums that you might see, but definitely give them the space and the resources they need to flourish. So with that, hit that like button if you learned something new about possums, marsupials, about how cute my dog is. Hit that subscribe button to follow us for more adventures, and ring that notification bell so that you can be notified when we put another video out. Don't forget to educate someone about opossums and to love an opossum today. Bye.